All right, Mary, do you want to introduce our speaker? No?
Sure. I can introduce our speaker. I don't know much about her though.
Oh,
All right, ladies, we are so happy you are here. Happy Power Hour Wednesday, where we do this every month. Dawn, our National Education Director, brings in some powerful women to speak to us, whether it's on mindset, financials, hormones, whatever it is. I just adore everybody that she brings through, and we always have such an impact from the ladies she brings in. This month, we have no other than Dawn Loding because she's amazing. And with everything that's going on right now, kind of, it's going to be a nice breath of air to just, so Dawn is going to walk us through how to kind of stay grounded during all of this hectic time in our lives. So
ab-
without further ado, my sweet friend
Thank you
Dawn
very
Loding.
much, Mary Baggett, founder of Power Girls. I appreciate your introduction. So, yes, normally I'm the one that chooses the speaker for this event. And I've had some amazing women in here over the past like 7 years. And so, and some of them are repeat because they have so much to offer. And so, but however, my speaker for this month, she had to cancel at the last minute. And I had to kind of jump through some hoops to try to bring a speaker in at the last minute. However, everyone that I kept asking couldn't do it. And I thought, you know what? I think I'm supposed to do this. Like I felt just called to come in and do a presentation myself because my talk is all about abundance. My walk is about abundance. My life is about finding abundance in a scarcity world. And if any of you have followed me in the past, you know like I share every story. I've lived my whole life in scarcity, fight or flight, um, just not knowing what's going to happen, and just, lots of that stuff. And so I've created all of this content about it. And so I'm going to share my screen and I only have 30 minutes today though. So it's going to be short. So we're going to leave it open. But you guys, I have an event to go to at 3:30 that means so much to me and I cannot miss it. And so you guys all mean so much to me too, but this is an opportunity and something that was really dear to me. And so I'm gonna leave, but Mary's gonna continue the conversation, and you guys are I'm gonna give you some workshop stuff that you could walk away with today. So I want to dig into it. I don't want to go too fast, but I also want to just dig in and get started. So I'm gonna share my screen and my presentation here. Okay, can you guys all see it? Yes?
Yes.
Taking back your power when scarcity gets the best of you. Does that sound like something anybody's going through this week, like at all? And and I think that all of us can like relate to each other. And I think it's great that we have this uplifting group to come to with our wind down Wednesdays, with our education piece, and with our monthly meetings. Like just knowing that I'm going to have this group to go to once a week, almost every week, is it's good for my heart, not heavy on my heart. It's something that I cherish. And so knowing that I got these girls for better or for worse, like that's important to me. And so, um, taking back your power, I got to figure out these slides. Okay, so I'm going to open the conversation up because I want this to be interactive, a lot of it, uh, with a quick story. And I want you guys, as I'm talking about this, I really want you guys to think to yourself too. So think of a quick story that scarcity pulled you off track. Like we're all real estate agents, we're leaders, we're in leadership, a lot of us, and just having your real estate license and being a realtor, like that just puts you in leadership, right? Like your communities, they look up to you. You're creating this amazing business. You're helping people with the largest financial transaction that they have in their lives. Like that's huge, for us. So where in your life, like let's just think back to the last month, in the month of September, what is something that has gotten you off track? So, and I'm going to go first and I'm going to share with you my week and why I felt at 4:30 this morning compelled to wake up and open up and put my thoughts onto a slide deck. This whole thing was literally created this morning in a few hours, but it's because I know this content. Like I live it still to this day and I recognize it. And so I want to share with you guys some tools that will help you realize it. So where does scarcity sneak in for you? Is it your finances? Is it your relationship? Is it self-doubt? These are all scarcity feelings. And we're going to talk a lot more about that. But I just want you to kind of hold on to that and think about that and recognizing the patterns that may be holding us back from our full potential. This is huge to recognize these loops that our mindset is telling us. So let's talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about scarcity versus abundance. And does everybody in the room know what I'm talking about when I talk about scarcity? Do you know what that means? Like fear-based thinking. Fear-based thinking, constant comparison. You're comparing your real estate business with something that everybody else is doing. Or we see these amazing people in leadership have stuff that they're doing in their area. And why are we not doing it? Like constant comparison. There's just so many doors for us in comparison. Grasping and hoarding. I know hoarders, like they do that because they live in scarcity, that they fear that there's not going to be enough to go around. And there always is, you guys, there always is. And a limited perspective. Like those are just some of the scarcity mindset things. An abundant mindset is more about clarity and knowing and faith, clarity in decision making, conscious choice. Like you make the choice to recognize that you're in fear and you're living in doubt and scarcity, and you're going to make the choice to do something about it because you cannot create there. You cannot create the amazing things that are out there for you to create, that you've been called to create. You can't do that when you're living over there on the scarcity mindset. You have to move on over to the abundant mindset, the truth and the possibilities instead of all of the negative stuff, and expansive thinking. Mindset is the bridge between these two worlds, the bridge that takes you from living in scarcity over to living in abundance. And you guys, that's all it is. Mindset is an attitude, a state of mind. Abundance mindset is a attitude and a state of mind. And you can check yourself at any moment, at any day, and you can figure out in less than 10 seconds where you're at. Is your attitude over there in scarcity or is it in abundance? And like, I have set timers for myself before, like every 30 minutes, just a mindset timer to say, what am I thinking about? What am I doing? What loop am I getting myself pulled into? And I recognize it so clearly on social media right now. I don't even get on. I can't stand getting on to social media and looking at all of the all of it. Like I recognize it and I'm like, what am I doing? Bring back my cat videos. Get this stuff off of here. So I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. I want to be fulfilled like in life. I don't want to live in all of that negative space. And so I have to work at it constantly. And so do you. So scarcity, it steals all of these things. When we operate from scarcity, we lose access to our most powerful resources. These four essential elements get dimmed when fear takes the driver's seat. Confidence. You can't be confident when you're living in fear and you're afraid of what people are going to think of you. You cannot live, I keep letting people in. Confidence, creativity, Yeah, you can't create. Like I have this visual in my head all the time. It's called living above the line. And in my head, I like just an imaginary line. I draw it in front of my face, right? And then, or in front of my mind, like with my, my invisible, my third eye here. But there's a line right there. And above the line is where all of that abundance lives. It's where you're able to go out and create your life. You're able to create your lead generation funnels, the campaigns, the things that will bring you more business. That happens in creativity above the line. Below the line is the doubt, the fear, and all of that stuff. And guess what? When you're living down there below the line, you cannot create. You just can't. It doesn't happen. You can't, darkness and light don't mix together. And so you have to ask yourself all the time, where are you? And when you're up there, you're living in the zone. You're living in that frequency. You're living out God's purpose. You're calm and it's where connection happens. Like I'm excited to do this talk with you guys today and I feel connected to each of you. And I feel like you're going to get this and it's going to help you and you're going to walk away because I'm thinking above the line. However, it wasn't that way Monday and Tuesday. It's been a rough week. I've dealt with a lot of calls with people with different opinions and in leadership. It's just been a rough week. And so I had to recognize where I was and I had to rest. Like I just needed some rest. And so, I got that. Like I had to say, I'm checking out. I ain't going to get crap done today because my central nervous system needs a reset right now. And yours may too. So you got to first recognize where you're at. All right. So, how do we do that though? How do we recognize the patterns? I've given you guys a few tools already in this, but I want to not just give you the tools to recognize where you're at. I want to give you the tools to overcome it. I want to show you some of the things that you could do to walk on that bridge to get from living in scarcity to living in abundance. But these are just some of the patterns. And I call them loops too. All the time I call them loops. Like these are loops on the different sides of your brain or in your brain that are the neurons. The neurons in our minds make up these little pathways. And these neurons and these pathways, they're made up from your memories and from your past. All of these things are like little pictures in your mind that are happening and telling you the story over and over and over again. It's why people hoard. They hoard because they're fearful that there's not going to be enough. And I could say this because my mother-in-law is a hoarder and my husband's right behind her. But you know, I recognize it and I feel for them. I get it. I don't, you can't help everybody. People have to help themselves. So you have to recognize what these loops are. And, I deal with these loops all the time because I have loops from my childhood, like a loop in every area, relationship, finance, all of it. Like my financial patterns are, I have spent all year rewiring my brain to think differently about money and wanting to take care of my money versus what I used to do. Like, I'm just going to make more of it. I'm going to spend it all. Right. Like, that's a loop in my head. And so, um, where are you in recognizing these patterns? Are you good at it? Do you think that you are, or do you need to set a timer every 30 minutes, every hour, and ask yourself, if you're in the right mindset. Like, are you thinking in scarcity or are you thinking in abundance? And then what do you need to do to get back into abundance? All right. Okay. The power reset. Look at that, you guys. I didn't even do that. It's the power sign. I love it. I was like, okay, I get it, God. Like, this was meant to be today for me to share this talk. So the power reset is really it's becoming aware and then doing something to interrupt it and then replacing those negative thoughts with something better. And that's what that this is the exercise I really want to get into today is how do we do that? So first of all, you have to design like who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Like if you want to change and you're recognizing that you're living in that scarcity and you want to be living over here in abundance and you want to make more money, you want all these good things to happen, but you recognize that your mindset is off and the change might need to be you, like that's what we're talking about here. And so this powerful question shifts you from scarcity to choice. You guys, I say it all the time, like the one thing we have control of every single minute of every single day is the power to choose differently. We get to choose. We get to recognize it. We get to change it. We get to design what it is we want to do, who we want to be, and we just make different choices throughout our lives to make those things happen. Right? Like, there's a lot to it. It's a practice. It's definitely not something that's gonna happen overnight. It's something that you need to start studying. And so, I want you guys to take a moment, and we're gonna list 3 attributes that you can step into today. These become your identity anchors, the qualities that ground you in abundance thinking. All right. So, how are we going to do that? Right? Because that sounds great. This is the exercise. I want you guys to list 25 attributes. You're going to write down 25 attributes of who you are becoming. Don't overthink it, just let them flow naturally. Choose your top 5 from that list of 25. Write down 5 that feel most true and authentic to you right now. Circle 1 to embody, and then we're going to share it with the group. So I'm going to give you guys a cheat sheet though. So I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. Actually, I'm not going to stop sharing, but I'm going to put in the chat a chat GPT prompt. Who uses chat GPT in here? Raise your hand if you could pull your chat GPT up real quick right now on your computer while we're on this call. If you can, I challenge you to do this. So I'm going to put a prompt right now in the chat box. And then I want you guys to go copy this and I want you to go put it in your chat GPT. And I did this because I am listening to this podcast right now, thanks to a really good friend of mine. And I won't say her name right now unless she wants to fess up because she is on this call. But there's a podcast called Upgrade with, actually, it's not called Upgrade, it's called Brokers of Secrets. And I was introduced to this a few weeks ago and I just loved it. And it's everything that I already teach. And so I've just been really listening and like taking notes and all kinds of things. I listened to 15 of the episodes from the podcast on my way home from the trip this week. So go into your chat and just put, and I'm saying this because your chat will be able to pull this. So I'm listening to the podcast Upgrade from William Lamb. I am at the part where I need to list 25 attributes of my identity and goals. Give me 25 positive, encouraging attributes from what you know about me. And it's going to give you back like 25 things. Is anybody done?
Yes, and pretty cool. Really cool.
Yes.
Okay. I had to print my list out because I was blown away at it. I talk to ChatGPT like every day, so I feel like it knows me very well. And the things that it came back and said about me, I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm going to read a couple. Visionary, always building beyond the next step. Resilient, setbacks become raw material for your growth. Connector, you naturally create bridges between people. Abundant, you lead with a mindset of more, not less. And the list goes on. And I just read that and I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like that's a game changer. I want to print that out and I want to read that every single morning from now on because that's where I want to be all day, every day. I want to be that person. I want to be inspiring. People rise to just being around your energy. I'm consistent, I'm generous, I'm bold. Like these are who I in my abundant mindset, truly do think that I am. But when I'm not, I forget all of these. I think nobody wants to hear what I have to say. If you guys could hear some of the self doubt that I say to myself sometimes, not very often, but sometimes, it's heavy. And so I love this list, and I hope that you guys all did this. And if you didn't, you can come back and do it later. But that helps a lot, right? Like you don't have to tackle all of those, but read through it and figure out which one or maybe five. You have to make this fit your own personality and your own life and your own experiences. So I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm saying this worked for me. This worked for me, and I've been on cloud nine all day long. I got up at 4:30 this morning because I felt God telling me others need to hear this, Dawn, and you need to share it. And I got up. I got my happy butt up and made a cup of coffee, and I'm about to need another one here in a minute because I'm about to, to crash. But that's I did it. And so let's keep going.
Eight
So
minutes, Dawn.
reclaiming, huh?
8 minutes.
8 minutes. Okay, great. Reclaiming choice. No options available. You're stuck with limited choices and must settle for less than you want. That's what scarcity says. It says there's no real estate transactions going on right now. You guys, I promise you, deals are still closing. If you doubt that and you find yourself thinking about that, go into your MLS and see how many transactions in your MLS closed in the last 30 days. You needed probably one of them to survive, to really get to the point where you have enough money. Because let's face it, we make a lot of money. If we do the right thing with it, now that's up to us. And I will be the first to admit, over the past 24 years of my career, I haven't. I've drove a nice car, had a nice house. My kids have had everything they needed, but I didn't put a lot away. Like, I didn't do the right thing. So I am now because I recognized that loop, and it's never too late, right? Power says infinite options exist. Your job is to pick one and move forward with confidence and clarity. Action is the proof of abundance. So, here are a couple of other things. You can brain dump and organize and act. Your abundance plan, my abundance plan method. For any of you who don't know all about my abundance plan method, I do a challenge every first Tuesday, and I can share the link here in a little bit, but I help agents figure out their mindset, get over some of the hurdles, and really create a business plan that fits their lifestyle and will help them to go actually do the work. And so that's my abundance challenge. If you see that on my social media, it's every first Tuesday of every month because it's a new month. It's a Tuesday. It's like time to create a new plan. If the one you have isn't working, join me. Let's create one that will work for you. A daily reset ritual. Pause, rest. Like, especially as women, like, we need downtime. I know and I can recognize when my energy is getting drained, and I know that's not the time to create. That's okay. I recognize it, I accept it, and I move on. And I might go take a nap. Community check-in. We're here for you.
Can
We're
I
here for
interrupt
you.
for just a moment?
Yeah, please
On
do. I'm
on
done.
that point of you saying I can recognize when my energy is down, right?
Mhm.
You said something to me this past week. We've also got to recognize that when people in our lives energies are down and how to pivot, right?
Yep.
Because Dawn and I are very close, right? We're really close. And so when we spend a lot of time together, my lack of energy affects Dawn, or Dawn's lack of energy affects me when we're together or when we're in a space together. So it's much about also recognizing who and what is around us too, and how we pivot and circulate that too.
100%. And that is so important because, we're human, and a lot of times we're thinking about what's going on with us, and we're not recognizing that the other person in your life has things going on. It's the same thing with social media and all of the division right now. They're all just opinions. everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own stuff going on. We have, you know what, that self-talk going on in each of our heads, it's going on for every one of us. Like I talk to myself all day, every day. And you got to stop and start listening to what you're telling yourself. And you got to remember that your friend, your husband, your wife, your kids, they're all going through the same thing. And some people struggle a lot more than others. But when we give them the space and we say things like, is there anything going on that I could help you with? Or like, hey, I'm just here for you. Like, or just talking it through, like realize that we're all going through the same stuff. So, you know what? Give grace right now, especially on social media. Just give grace. So, closing reflection, what's one place scarcity has been running the show, and what's one identity you can claim instead? And call to action, you have the power. Mindset first, action next. Take this into your business, family, and life. Gratitude for this circle of women supporting each other's growth. And that is my presentation. So, I am going to escape. I'm going to end. I've got like 3 minutes. I could maybe be a little bit late to my other thing. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, wow, there's a lot of you on here. I haven't seen all of that. So I just went through that whole thing and I hope that I help people.
You always do. And ladies, what we can do after Dawn exits is let's go through that workshop she gave us together. I think it's powerful in just seeing it ourselves of what came up or what comes out of your brain of what your attributes are. But I think it would be fun to share what's the one that you circled for your own so that when we see you, we can share in that attribute with you. So I took a screenshot of that. So we'll do that together once Dawn heads out.
Okay, you guys, thank you for listening. I love you guys all so much. And I just wish you so much abundance. And I'm sorry that I have to leave, but Mary's got y'all and it's in the chat. So for those that came late, I'm going to go post it one more time really quick before I leave. And this is for your chat GPT to come up with the attributes. We did record this, so this recording will be in our, um,
Replay hub.
yeah, replay hub. So, okay, I can't do that for whatever reason. So it's in there. If anybody needs it, let me know. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thanks, Dawn.
Oh, it's in there. Got it. Okay.
Hey, can someone
I'll
else
post it.
paste it? Because if it came in
I'm
late,
gonna
we
grab
don't get the
Yep.
previous post, so.
I'm grabbing it
Just-
and pasting
thank you,
it
my
and
dear.
send it to you. Yes. All right. So for those of you that came in after Dawn gave us our objection of what to do, I just pasted in the prompt for your chat GPT if you use chat GPT. If not, what you're going to want to do is write down, let's see, let me get my screenshot. Write down 25, where'd it go? So you're going to list 25 attributes just out of your own brain of what you feel you are. You're positive, you're resilient, you're whatever those positive attributes that you have for yourself, and you can write down those 25, or you can use the what I copied and posted in there as her chat GPT prompt. Now, Mary, I just saw you come in. So you've maybe not gotten that. So I just posted it in there again. So if you want to do this with us, I think it's powerful. The attributes that came up for me that Sunny knows, Sunny's my chat GPT, that Sunny knows and has gotten to know me. Just her coming back and saying you have these attributes was it was pretty cool. The ones that she said I am. And when I really look at it like that self-talk that Dawn was talking about, that doubting talk, we do that a lot. We do that a lot. I'm like, no, I'm really not that, but maybe I am. And maybe if we start feeling in our hearts these things that other people are seeing and that we're seeing in ourselves and that we want to see in ourselves, we can hold that space of abundance, right? We can pivot when things aren't going so swimmingly and positively around us, right? We can tap into those positive attributes and get into that abundance instead of that scarcity mindset that we've been in for a little bit now, since I think the middle of last week. It's heavy. It's really heavy. And when Dawn talked about, her speaker had to, had to pivot, we talked about how hard these past several days have been and how it's just, whew. And so she said, you know what? This is a perfect time, like she said. And she came up with a brilliant talk and a brilliant subject to talk on and a brilliant workshop for us to do, I think. So I get long-winded, y'all, but has everybody written down at least 25 words or 10, we can shorten it, or ask GPT that prompt? Put in the chat if you are good. Or shake your head. Okay. All right. So with that, now we are going to, let me go back to my pictures. We're going to choose our top 5. So if you asked ChatGPT, I want you to write down the top 5 that you feel that you truly connected with. If they came out of your brain, circle them. Circle those 5 that you truly, truly connect with and want to connect with. And that will help you through those curveballs in time. I'm going to write mine down. You guys do yours. Yeah.
Hey, Mary, I know I'm a little late. Can you tell me real quick, what am I writing down?
Yes. So did you get in after I put the chat, that prompt? I am listening to the podcast from William Lamb. I'm at the park. Can you see it in the chat?
I'm looking. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that. Uh-huh.
If you have ChatGPT, use that and
Okay.
let ChatGPT kind of pick your brain because you've told it how to pick your brain and what's in your
Okay.
brain. Or
Sure.
write down 25 words that are positive attributes to you. I'm strong. I'm courageous, resilient, whatever attributes, those positive attributes that you want to make sure that you remember about yourself when things aren't going so amazingly.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I've got my 5. Everybody got your 5? Shake your head. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay. Now we're getting, Mary, I know you're working on yours. And it was really nice to meet you this past week, sister. All right. Circle 1 to embody, that you want to embody. 1 attribute to consciously step into today. That's going to become your focus today, your power focus today. So circle 1 or write down 1 of those 5. So we're taking it from this big elephant and we're piecing it down, right? Does everybody have their 1? We good? All right. Who's going to be brave and share with the group your 1 attribute that you are going to step into today? Raise your hand or unmute and go for it. All right, Renee. Hi, sister.
Hi, sister. How much time do I have?
Whatever you feel you need.
So I love the fact that we're doing this. I literally had a conversation with my husband this morning because, so about 2.5 years ago, we took a major financial hit. I mean, major. And it has caused us to have to completely pivot in how we um, look at, I mean, things we should have been doing all along. Look at our finances, making additional financial decisions based on this major hit. One of those things, we had to start a company to bring in more income. Thank God for our real estate investment properties that we had that helped us balance things out. But it has been rough. And so we started a business about 2.5 years ago that neither one of us ever saw in the cards for us. But nonetheless, I feel us coming out. And so the conversation I had with him this morning, because we both have servant hearts, like our entire family, we've served in ministry for almost 30 years. It just, you know, going hard, just trying to help others and often putting ourselves aside. And so, with that being said, here comes Epic Realty. And I have grown up with a scarcity mindset. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but it would only go but so far, because my thoughts would be, okay, you can make good money at what you do, but here's your cap, like here's your roof. You're not, you can't be but so successful or so. And although I think we've done well in life, there's always been this roof. But again, here comes Epic Realty. Now, this is struggling for like 2.5 years, and I see the potential of, funds that I could make in real estate, but not so much selling real estate. I got my real estate license, but originally it was because he wanted me to have a way to make money securely. I was a professional photographer, up and down, people taking pictures with their phones now. So that wasn't all that secure. But he was like, I just need you to have a way to be able to make money if something ever happens to me, because he's always been the breadwinner. So I get my license, you know, that's the deal. What blessed me was when Sam at PowerCon, he told the doctor, I'm a real estate agent, but I don't sell real estate. And so that resonated with me because I've never been like this top producer and all. I've done well for myself, don't get me wrong, but I've never been like this super producer because that wasn't, I, honestly, I didn't necessarily had to, but then this financial thing happens. So now I'm on a whole different page. So this morning, saying all that to say, and I'm probably leaving stuff out, but this morning okay, I'm gonna try to keep it together. I had a conversation with him and I said, I want the Lord to bless us back to the place where we were before that happened. And when I say that, I mean, I literally have never traded in a car. If I bought a new car, I gave the old one away. I want to be back to the place where God can bless me with finances because He knows what we're going to do with them. We've never been flashy or people to flaunt things, or don't get me wrong, I like nice things. But people would come to my house and be like, who knew you lived like this? I never lived that kind of way where I was in your face. But we were always in a position where we could bless others. And this situation has put us in a position where we can't. And I told him this morning, I said, I just want God to put us back in a place where I don't have to worry about money. And if somebody needs me, I could be a blessing. And then we do this activity. I was so hurt last week. I had an agent who had something tragic happen in her life. She lost somebody. I didn't know how close this person was. I gave my condolences, but she let me have it because she thought I should go. I should have been at the funeral or I should have done more. And I told her, you're not going to make me out to be that person. I know who I am. I adore you, and I hate that you feel this way. My son was here last week. I haven't seen him in months. Even if I did know how much this person meant to you, my son means more to me. I had to let myself mentally off the hook to say, Renee, you're not that person. Don't allow, and if y'all saw my post about leadership, that was a result of that. I'm up at 3 a.m. and say, no, I'm not going to allow somebody to tell me that I'm not who I am because you felt I should have done more. I've wrestled with that. So The quote that I have is that I want to be driven by impact. It says that I am driven by impact, measuring success by lives changed and not by just a number. Because that's who I am. I measure my success not by how many houses I sell or, my top producer numbers. I want to make an impact. It's the lives that I change. That's how I measure my success. Always have, always will. And he said to me this morning when I told my husband that's what I want to do. I want to be able to be financially be able to pour into people's lives again like we did before. And he said, you don't focus on finances. Focus on the lives. The money will come. I'm not worried about that. Don't you worry about it. Continue to do what's in your heart to do. Love on your people. The finances will come. So Don Loading, oh my gosh, I want to do this to you. You left the meeting and you don't get to hear this, so watch the recording. But I'm so blessed by this because I've been struggling with getting out of my mind that the scarcity mentality to say I don't have it to do, but having to constantly remind myself, you will have it one day. Do what you can with what you have. It'll come back and it'll come back more abundantly. There will be no cap. God is going to bless us tremendously. I know that because I know the kind of people we are and I know what we're going to do, what we have to give. It's not going to be about us. And so I'm grateful. I've said enough.
What's your word? What's your word?
No.
Wow.
Well, it didn't give me words, it gave me phrases. So
Grateful.
so my phrase, yes, I am very
Impactful.
grateful.
Grateful.
So driven by impact, measuring success by lives changed, not just a number. That's what I'm focusing on.
So impactful.
Impactful. There we go. Thank y'all, because I'm a mess
Impactful.
right now.
You did great.
So I hope you can hear this, that your want, you just gave.
It was amazing.
All of us sitting here, you just gave it to us. And it wasn't financial, it was your heart. You were impactful to us sharing your heart and being who you are, Renee. It doesn't have to be financial to have a value. You are the value. You have always been the value.
Always.
The financial aspect of it was the cherry on the cake or the ice cream. How do you say it? Cherry on the ice. Screwed that one up.
Cherry on
No,
top.
I get it. I get it. So thank y'all for letting me be this bumbling fool today. But the way God does things full circle and in his timing, I'm like, good Lord. I literally
just
just had
love
this
you.
conversation this morning.
I just love you. And I think everyone here needed to hear that it's not about what we think we have to have or give. And you just proved it. You just proved it.
All right, thank y'all. I had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry, y'all.
Amy Garland. Are you okay? That touched you, I can tell. Are you okay? I love you. Renee, that was you.
Profound. Beautiful.
Unreal. Unreal. That whole time I'm trying not to be a sniveling.
I'm
You
trying
hit
to.
home. You hit home. All right. So, whew, anybody else want to share?
Hey,
Oh,
Mary, I'll share, Charlotte, I'll share on resilience. So thank you, Renee. I really appreciate your heart. And thanks to Dawn, even though she's not here. So through the last 5 years, I have become much more resilient. And this is not to draw pity, but my husband died at the beginning of COVID. And so that was sort of the beginning of things. And then I made some incredibly I don't want to say it, uneducated choices with money, and also spent a lot of money, which I learn later, widows do, but it's like too late now. So I have, I had debt, and then last year was, well, I also was ripped off. Well, what do you say, fraud? I don't know, $12,000. And last year was not a good year, but I have been really, really working on this stuff, working on my mindset, working on trust. Because even though it
It's a
didn't
big
feel
one
like,
when somebody takes advantage, isn't it?
yeah, really. But my trust is definitely back on that. And I take my 50%, but I also know that there was an incredibly unethical thing. But that wasn't really the worst thing. The worst thing, was that I didn't really grieve my husband very well. I got involved with somebody, got really busy during COVID with sales, which was grateful. I'm grateful for that forever. And so now I'm like backing into the resilience, and I'm actually doing some psychological work around grieving, and um because it's easy to avoid. And so I really do feel resilient. I really feel when and I listen to a lot of positive music, a lot of Christian music. Like, it's, people might think I was obsessive, but I have to change what's happening in my brain. I have to change it. I can't let, I mean, my brain got me here, so it's not going to get me out. So, and I'm happy, I love this company. I feel so much grace in this move. And Mary, well, what you and Don are doing, and Sylvia and others, it's just, so I'm going to say I am a resilient person, and I believe that now. I really do believe that I'm resilient, and I don't know that I can turn on a dime, but I can turn pretty quickly. And yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? I'll share mine. So authentic. You guys know that when I'm in your presence, I am who I am. And that's something that, sometimes we're hard on ourselves for being authentic because we have to people please. And that's something I've grown through is I still want to people please, but I don't lose myself in it. And that's something I need to stay in, is that authenticity of staying myself and not bending to other people's beliefs or ideologies or what they're saying. And I stay true to me and authentic to me and what I believe in and what my heart tells me is true for me, right? So I think being authentic is something that I really just need to continue to step in today and remind myself. Anyone else? This has been a hard one. This has been a hard one, but oh my gosh, so good. So good. Something that we needed to all hear, right?
Yeah,
We're in such a delicate stage.
Yeah. The
With
thing
everything
about
going
this
on.
group of people is I don't sense any competition at all. And in other groups of women that I've been in, not all, but in others, it's definitely a factor. And I feel sort of self-protective. I don't feel like I have to self-protect with you guys. And that's quite, like Renee, the amount of openness that you shared with, it's pretty hard to find. So thank you. Yeah.
And that's why we're all here. And that's why we keep coming back, right? Because we know that we're in a safe space and it'll never not be safe. I can promise you that.
Okay, now for reality. I have 5 listings and they're not selling. So if you want to pray for me, that'd be really nice.
We can do that. We can do that. Well, ladies, it is 3:50. I am so proud of everybody for being vulnerable. Even if you didn't speak, I can see it in your faces. This has got you thinking. And really, what can I do? What do I need to do? What does my mind need to shift to? Right? So I just adore all of you and I'm so proud of you. And we're going to pray for everybody's listings. We're going to pray for everybody's strength. And if you're not the praying type, then we're going to keep you in our thoughts about your listings and about your strength. But everyone here matters. Our minds and our hearts and our value, we all matter no matter what. No matter what. And take that little aha moment that Renee maybe found today with that it's not always what we think we have to give back. Don't put a ceiling on it. Be who you are. Be true to who you are. And you're going to feel what you need to feel and give what you need to give. And I'm just so proud of every one of you. And thank you for being here. I know this was a hard one today, but this was awesome. Awesome. Does anybody else need anything? We've got a couple minutes, but if not, you can have a couple minutes back of your day.
Where do we go for the recording? Is it Power Girls Facebook?
If you have not registered, register. So it's powergirlsinrealestate.com. Real estate, powergirlsinrealestate.com. Once you register, be looking for a separate email that says, here's the replay hub, and then save that.
Hey, Mary, when I registered, does this automatically populate in my calendar when I do that? It doesn't.
No.
Okay. Okay.
No, but we do send reminders. Hi, baby. We do send reminders like the night before, but these are always the same, Mary. We have our Wind Down Wednesday, which it's the second. Help me out, ladies. My mind is blown. It's the second Wednesday of every month at 5 p.m. Central. It's always that day, always that time, and it's always at powergirls.live. Then we have the Power Hour, which is the third Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central, and it's always the third Wednesday. And then we have local events. If we've got a local leader in your area, we're having local events. But yeah, you can just put a hard note in your calendar that those are always on there. So I love you guys. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.